Everybody, welcome back. Jodie King here, Jodie King Art Channel on YouTube. I am so glad you're here as usual. All right, we're going to talk about the thing that a lot of people want to know about, and that's so super subjective, but it's pricing. How to price our paintings. I mean, there are so many different ways to do it, and everybody's got a different idea or view on it. So I'm just gonna tell you it's super subjective. I'm gonna tell you how I do it, and maybe a couple of different ways to do it, but just know that it's a little bit of trial and error, and you're just gonna have to go for it and see what happens. So it's, you know, it's one thing because it's difficult because on one hand, you don't want to price yourself out of the market. Like, you don't want to price yourself too high because then, you know, you won't be selling your work. On the other hand, you don't want to price yourself too low because if you do that, then there's almost like a quality issue associated with it. So people want to know that the work that they're getting is quality work as well. So there's a couple of different ways that you can do it. Number one, you can price it by the either linear inch, or you can price it by the square inch. Okay, so what do I mean by that? So for me, what I do is I will take, let's just say that it's a 40 by 40 inch painting. So 40 inches by 40 inches is, if you multiply those together, that's 1,600 inches, okay? So I've got my calculator out here because math is very hard for me. So we've got 1,600 inches, right? Well, let's say you've compared your work to other people. We're gonna go through that in a minute, but you've compared your work, you've decided where you feel like it should lie, and it's about $1 a square inch. So you take that 1,600 inches and you multiply it times, 1,600 inches, and you multiply it times $1. And what that's gonna give you for a 40 by 40 painting is gonna be $1,600. Okay, so your work may start off less than that. Mine certainly did. It started off way less than that. I think my work started off like, I don't know, 30 cents an inch or more, a square inch. Anyway, everybody starts somewhere, and that's totally fine. As you have more time in the business, as your work gets noticed, as you sell more paintings, etc., then you're able to raise your prices. The other way that people like to do it is they take a look at what their supply costs are, plus what they believe is a fair amount for their hourly rate. So the way that would work is you would like look at the cost of your canvas. So let's say you spend $40 on a canvas. And then you take, okay, let's see, if we're gonna look at, kind of average out, you know, what your paint supplies are, etc. And so let's just say that we're gonna add another $20 for paint supplies. So that's gonna be, we're in it now for $60. So then you're gonna look at, okay, well, what feels fair to me for an hourly rate for what I'm doing? Do you look at some attorneys, right? Their fees, trust me, I just got a divorce. I know it's super expensive. You know, so you spend, you know, let's just say $500 an hour on an attorney, and not an attorney. No, sorry, $500 an hour. Let's say you think that you're worth $500 an hour. Well, I mean, that's gonna, if you spend 10 hours on a painting or $20, 20 hours on a painting, that's gonna be a really expensive painting. So maybe we should back that off a little bit and decide what's maybe a little more reasonable. So let's just say it's gonna take you 10 hours to do a painting, and you've decided that you wanna be paid $50 an hour. So 10 times 50 is gonna be $500. I think, wait, 10 times 50. Yes, sorry, math is so hard for me. So that's $500. So now you've got the $60 cost of supplies, and then the $500 that you believe you're worth, and so that's gonna be $560 is what you would price your painting at. Now, it's not that simple. What you really need to do is you need to look at other people that have been painting for a similar amount of time, that have maybe a similar not necessarily style, but if I'm a mixed media artist, for instance, I would want to compare myself with other mixed media artists, not necessarily to people who specialize in watercolor. So the way that you can find that is you can go to art fairs, you can go online to Etsy, you can go onto different online galleries like Saatchi, or there's several other ones, and just kind of look as objectively as possible. And I know this is hard, but look at as objectively as possible at what other people with the same amount of time painting and style, and see where you fit within that, because you want to be kind of somewhere in that range. Okay, so I hope that was helpful and not too confusing. I didn't talk about linear inch. It would be the same thing as pricing by the square inch. Instead of just multiplying that, you would just do it by the linear inch. Okay, so I hope that was helpful, you guys. Pricing is so subjective. It's such a kind of a crazy thing to do, but it's kind of a little bit more trial and error. I hope it was helpful at least. If you have other suggestions on how you like to price work, please leave them in the comments below. And if you like what you see here, please like and subscribe, and hope you have an awesome day. Peace out.